will it work? Did I make a mistake?
Yes.
What did I miss?
True power doesn't shout. True power is not loud or boastful. It's a steady presence that doesn't need to announce itself because the impact speaks loud enough. Our guest today is a living embodiment of that kind of leadership.
The Managing Director of KCB Bank, Annastacia Kimtai, talks about the role of the bank in promoting financial inclusion and economic empowerment for women in Kenya.
I call out the women who are not raising up their hands and tell them, you know what, you do have what it takes. When I started my career, did I ever dream of being an MD? I was just this village girl running away from poverty.
The one thing they say about you is that you listen, you understand, you don't forget.
It is being intentional when we talk about accessibility of leadership across the network.
Surely the weight of that responsibility must be immense. Annastacia, I'm curious, what have you learned about leadership? What do you think happened? Is there a point in your career where you felt underestimated? What's next for you?
Could that be a showstopper?
I think very serious things happen here. So I'm going to start with telling you a story. I remember my first interaction with a bank. I was about, I think, 8 or 9 years old, and I had a piggy bank. And I had been saving diligently, and it got to a point and my mom told me, I think it's time for us to take this to the bank now. And so I remember going to the bank with my mom and entering the bank, and the first thing that got me was, okay, wow, the walls are all white. There's glass everywhere. It's very serious. There are men in suits, men and women in suits. And I remember thinking, I think very serious things happen here, you know. And at some point I even felt like, maybe I don't belong here, you know. And my mom was obviously with me the whole time. We went, we had the piggy bank, we put the money, and we opened a bank account. But, you know, as I was preparing for this interview, that's what came, like that first interaction with the bank. And so, Annastacia, I'm curious, what was your first interaction with the bank like?
You know, Terry, I'm looking at you and it's like you read my story.
Oh!
Yeah, because my first interaction with the bank was when my dad took me to purchase a banker's check. By then, I didn't know it was a banker's check. I knew it was a piece of paper. And I entered this bank and, you know, being the village girl I am, stepped in and looked at the way people look like angels. To me, they look like angels. They didn't look like human beings. The way the place was neat, you know, the things had been arranged in a very meticulous way. And I asked, is it for real, you know? So I asked my dad, are these real human beings? You are lucky you saw women. I didn't see a woman. You know, guys who were dressed in ties, shirts were white or blue. Yes. And my dad told me, yeah, they are human beings. In my mind, I knew they were angels. So I asked him, kindly, when they are giving you that piece of paper, allow me pick it up. And in my mind, it was to verify that they are real human beings. So when they were giving me the piece of paper, I made sure I held their hand to feel the blood in them, that they are real and they are human. And you know,
they must have been shocked.
I was shocked. Yeah. Honestly, I knew I was in heaven. I knew I was in a different place that's not found in this world. So when I held the gentleman's hand, I told my dad, I want to work in this institution. What does it take to work in this institution? And he told me, you must be very good in maths. I told him, maths? That's it? I will. And going back to school, I made sure I excel in maths. And I'm the old school ones where I did maths, economics, and geography in A-level. And throughout my career, I looked for an option where there was a word banking. That was my interaction. And up to now, I don't regret.
Yeah. That's powerful. The fact that that moment shaped what you became, like, that's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that with me. But what is interesting, you said that you didn't see women.
I didn't see a woman.
Did that not scare you, thinking that, okay, I haven't seen any women in this bank, so how did you process that?
Reflecting on it right now, I think I needed a place whereby I'm experiencing it myself. Because being the village girl, the first thought could have been, I want to get married to a guy in that institution. But I said, I want to work in that institution. So I believe it's, trying to experiment and get to appreciate that, what you desire you can achieve. Because at that particular moment, it didn't cross my mind that way, but I wanted to experience, is it real? Can I also be in such an environment?
Yes.
And that's why I wanted You get it?
Yes.
He asked me now, I didn't say a woman and I'm saying
Yes.
Could that be a showstopper? Yes, and I overprocess it. But looking back, it didn't become a showstopper because I believe getting the credentials will take me to that place. That's why I asked, what does it take for me?
Yes.
And reason is because also my dad never discriminated us into, a girl and a woman. He brought us up in such a way that he was giving us the best education where all of us can excel. So coming from that background, that thing of, why am I not seeing a woman, didn't sink into me at that time because of the values, and the kind of hope that Dad had given us that, it doesn't matter who you are, you can actually achieve what you purpose to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the only limitation at that point had nothing to do with your gender. It
Absolutely.
was all about what you could control. It was math.
Yeah.
You need to get the right grades.
Yeah.
It was getting, biology. You say geography, sorry.
Economics and maths.
Economics and math.
Get it.
Wow.
And another thing, reflecting on it, Terry, is also,
Yes.
my mother was, I call it a home manager. She never worked. And Mom kept on driving this narrative that for you to live a life that you can enjoy, you need to go to school. And that was the driving force. Mom kept on telling us, you know what? No matter what you want to become, whether you want to get married or what, you must have your own income. So that was the driving force. Mom is telling you this is the right direction. Dad is giving us equal opportunities and being very competitive because I had a brother ahead of me. So at that particular moment, I just wanted to excel.
Yes.
There was no limiting factor to that.
And so you find yourself as a graduate trainee in Mombasa. Please tell me a little bit about the journey to actualize your dream of becoming a banker.
Okay, so after my master's, you come back and being the village girl I am, I get back to Kericho where I was born. And it was a belief that anybody who was going to school and you come from Kericho, you either work with the tea factories around you, you get married to those guys. Ooh. And so, So I come back and I go to this institution and I look for a job because I knew one thing that was going to take me places was experience. So I walk into Unilever by then, got a job within 1 week, and I got a job within 1 week. And it's quite interesting, the kind of job that people will be looking for when you have your master's. I was actually a receiving bay clerk.
No.
Yes, and I accepted because I was looking for experience.
Yes.
And through to it, 3 months down the line, they advertise. And you are shortlisted to go for the interview. And when I'm being interviewed, I tell them about my aspiration to be a banker. And one of the guys, director, asked me, then you're in the wrong place.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Yeah. Absolutely. And then I told them, I need to have experience to be able to get to career banking. But I want to assure you, I will do my best and give you all that it takes to deliver. Then I went back, we continued working, and then 3 months down the line, KCB advertised. And I go back to the same director and I tell them, guess what? KCB has advertised.
You've not even applied.
I have not even applied. Then, okay, so what do you want from us? I say, I need a reference letter because I've been working with you.
For 3 months.
For 3 months now. It's now 6 months,
Yes.
And trust me, they gave me the best reference letter in terms of honesty and forthright. And I believe after now, I have never verified. I believe that's one of the reasons I was shortlisted because there were so many looking for the same job in KCB, Yes. And to cut the long story short, Yeah, I am. I joined the bank a couple of years back as a management trainee, where you are supposed to train for 1.5 years before you actually get confirmed. And I was very excited, first of all, that I've got my career job. And then at that particular moment, being young and naive, yes, I went to Mombasa following the love of my life because we had just been engaged.
Oh, wow.
And so when you're being asked, why the first choice, second and third is Mombasa? I told them I just want to work in Mombasa. But in my mind,
It was a love story.
It was a love story for me.
Yes.
And I find myself in Mombasa. But key to note is like being honest and true to what you want to achieve in life can take you to places, because I was very passionate, committed, and I really wanted to excel as a career banker. Because remember, the picture in my head was to excel as a career banker. But also I was cognizant to one thing, that as also a woman, when we were being trained at KCB Leadership Center, I remember some of the lecturers kept on reminding us, if you don't have a boyfriend by now, you might never get married, because career banking is quite demanding. So I had to balance the two. I need to be a banker, and I have to make sure also that I get married, because that was the love at that particular time. And so Mombasa was it. And so I went to Mombasa. We went to Mombasa. Yeah. And from that, key learning as a young woman in banking, and also as an African woman who needs to balance marriage with career, come the call of productivity in my other career of marriage now. And I find myself, starting my family. Immediately I go to Mombasa, and key learnings along the way. The most important thing is to get the people to support you, and a person, a friend who truly believes in you, so that they can keep on encouraging you to be the person that you want to be. And key, because I started family, was the support mechanism. And for me, I got a lot of support from where I married. And I like telling my story about this for the girls who want to excel in marriage. I accepted that family with everything that came along. And my mother-in-law became my best friend. When I delivered my children, she used to come and take care of my children for the 1 month. And because I gave her my all, and I normally crack this joke, even if it doesn't come naturally, fake it until it's real.
Fake it until it's real. Yeah.
Because I never struggle. And most of the family events that I'm supposed to, Mombasa and Mount Elgon, let me put that, it's far. And by that time you are young in career, so you can afford a flight.
So you have to be on a bus.
So you can only go home once per year. And so most of the family events, because of the love I had for my in-laws, my mother-in-law used to explain and say, the kind of career that my daughter-in-law has, she can only be available in December. So that made it easy for me to focus on my career, because I knew I had a support mechanism around me. I didn't have to show up everywhere and get tired. The second item that you needed to agree also, if I needed to excel in career banking, I can't be the best in everything. That was very, very important. And I had this conversation with my husband, and I actually asked him, what were you looking for as a wife? Was it the best cook? Was it a watchman? Or was it love? And so when I understood what I was looking for, then I knew there was only one responsibility I can delegate. The rest I can delegate. And excel in that one responsibility and my career in banking. That was very important. Get the support system, get to know your aspiration, talk about these things, and thereafter get a friend who believes in you. My husband was my friend before he became my husband. My family, where I come from, I tell you, I follow a brother. It's very competitive, and we kept on challenging each other, and we shared everything. So getting that act together and building the trust. Terry, it's quite interesting. When my husband put a landline, those days we didn't have mobiles, in the house, I was thinking, this guy is, it's cool. I didn't know And it took me a while to get to understand the purpose of that landline. And because when I used to leave work and tell him I'm going home, after 15 to 20 minutes, he calls and says, "Are you reached home?" "Yeah, I'm reached home.
Oh, wow.
The babies are good and what, you know. And when I say that I'm going to the supermarket, you know, yeah, he'll find me. When I say I'm going to church, the friends will tell him. And so building that trust for the first 3 years. After the 3 years, he allowed me to go anywhere because he knew when I said I'm here, I am there.
Yes.
You know, so that landline,
Yeah.
I didn't know was in the process of building trust.
Yes.
For him to believe that, you know, I'm not playing around.
Yes.
And for us, you know, for me to thrive in my career.
Yes.
And trust me because of a lot of travel here and there when you're coming to Nairobi. And also for him, I think it was a mental issue, psychological issue that, you know, this woman is a solid woman. And why do I say that? Because at that time, and you can approximate my age, a learned ladies were being seen as they cannot make good wives, mothers, right? So I think that's the confirmation and the assurance that he needed to have so that he can allow me to thrive.
Yeah. You know, I like that you speak so passionately about, one, you had the desire to get married, and two, you got married and, you know, you actually worked together with your husband to earn the trust, and then he enabled you to thrive. And, you know, just reflecting on it right now, it's a very different time, but I like the fact that you said that I had this desire and nobody questioned it.
As when we were growing up as young girls, success meant that after your academics, you settle into marriage. That was how a girl was viewed, and especially a village girl. I was not a town girl.
A village girl.
Yeah, a village girl. So it was something that you aspire to have a job and settle into marriage. Another thing that I always share is like, you know, where you find love and you become open and discuss about these things, they just fall in place.
Yes.
And this is the other gender, sex, love, when you talk about that love. Because I reflect and I ask ourselves, you know, why do you think that love was created by God? There must have been a reason. And then we really need to go back and search ourselves and say, then what are some of the values that are making this God-ordained relationship to be eroded and not taking priority, right? And that's what I normally say, you know. If you can tell your story and actually demonstrate genuine friendship where you come together and support each other, then majority of our people still wants to get married.
Yes.
The only thing is fear that they do have, fear to fail.
Yeah.
But because most of us as married ladies are not coming out and talking about the beauty of marriage, the fact that, it's not going to be a process every day.
Yes.
The thorns will come through, but where do you get inspiration and the courage to move on, you know, when this happen? And then where do you get a support mechanism that cheers you up to continue? Because most of the social media conversation of late, it's actually doing more damage to family than enabling that environment where our children can be brought up with love and where they belong. And it's something that I say it's high time that we ladies in leadership need to talk about it if we have to get it right in terms of our values and bringing up a whole-rounded human being.
I like that. You said that currently, I think the generation that we have right now is fearful. What do you think happened? Why do you think we're so fearful?
I believe because of the many social media stories where we see only success, then that enters into our minds and saying, then we'll be the only one to fail. And that's where the fear comes in. People never give you both sides of marriage. And it's true to say there are ups and downs. There are moments that you actually ask yourself, will it work? Did I make a mistake?
Yes.
What did I miss? You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, but those are moments of disagreement that I even believe when you look at the families that we've come from, it happens among siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, and people talk, and you come out of it, you know? So that fear comes out because everything that we see outside there I'll say, has been covered with falsehood. So it's high time that we really unmask this onion, get to the center of it, and appreciate that, it's not going to be bed of roses, but there will be ups and downs. But because we looked for each other,
Yes.
and we loved each other,
Yes.
why don't we talk about it?
Yes.
Yes, let's talk about it and believe that it will work.
Yeah.
But we are also not having the patience. That's one of the things. All of us needs gratification here
Instantly.
and there. Instantly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's bringing that fear also. But for anything to thrive, for anything to grow, you must have the patience to weed, water, nurture, and same thing with
Yes.
marriage until you become a friend.
Yeah.
Yes, until you're actually able to enjoy this together.
Yeah.
And I always put this also. When it's not working, then also stand to it and say it's not working so that we don't have mental cases.
Yes.
And the reality is there are others that honestly you fell in love for the wrong reasons and it's not working. So stand up for it.
Yeah.
But if you truly are people who are compatible, then the small things that make us to pack and leave, we can actually discuss, talk about it. And I have other leaders, women in leadership also, who've gone through this and can be able to train you and take you along.
Yes.
I look at what has happened lately, and us traditionally, it used to be our aunties who used to tell us what you need to do, what is it that a man needs in marriage? Yeah, what is it that you need to come through? And, even in careers,
Yeah.
you look at these things and it's not specific to marriage. Even in careers, if one of you doesn't come down, that conversation will not end well.
That's
so
true.
it's the same thing in life, So kind of get a support mechanism around you that you can be able to discuss. And I normally say, not necessarily in detail, what are some of the trade-offs that you can have?
Yeah.
What are some of the conversation I tell the young girls? You look for each other. The first discussion is you and him. Even if he's not listening, talk and tell him it's me and you sort it out.
Yes.
And I'm not going anywhere because we started together. And you realize over a period of time, I've learned that when the gentleman keeps quiet, that's a sign of apologizing.
It doesn't have to be, I am sorry.
It doesn't have to be, I'm sorry, and it's
Quiet.
action. Unlike us ladies, we talk and talk and talk.
Yeah. In fact, let me keep going.
You keep
I need
going.
to get it out.
Aren't you listening to me? And the
Yes.
guy is listening, and it's like,
Yes.
we are all nurtured differently
Yes.
the way we are brought up. So get a support system that you have this conversation so that you can learn and you can actually get the cue when you're having this conversation that, by the way, this guy is sorry. Can we move on?
Let me cut him some slack.
Thanks. So those are some of the things that reality as human beings, there will be disagreement even where you are born. But the thing is, did you stop being there as a family?
No.
And then why are you giving up when it comes to marriage?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, marriage is the best thing that can ever happen to a human being if that is your call. That's the best place that you can be real, you can be yourself, and you can get the required support.
Yeah.
So long as you don't compete.
Yes.
My husband is a social guy.
Yeah.
I am the quiet one.
Yeah.
And we've managed, I know what he likes. He knows what I like.
Yeah.
I love my quiet time. So you go out, have fun.
Yeah.
When you come in, tuheshimiane.
Yeah.
Let's respect each other. You'll find dinner is there.
It's there.
The microwave is there. I've put out for you everything. No matter the time, come, sort yourself.
Yes.
And then look for where the bedroom is. Because I love to sleep and I don't like interruption.
Yeah.
And that's how we've been able to thrive in our marriage,
Yeah.
Getting to understand the other partner.
That's true.
Giving them room
Yeah.
to enjoy what they love. And it doesn't bring a lot of heated conversation because he's enjoying his life. I'm enjoying my life. Yeah.
And I think that's where sometimes maybe our generation gets it wrong.
Yes.
When we think we have, when we're told you become one, we think that our lives have to merge. No, you still can go out, have fun with your friends.
Yes.
I will recharge by being quiet.
Yes.
So, just being able to still maintain
Be
your
myself.
own life and be yourself. I
Absolutely.
like that. We could talk about marriage for a very long time. Only because, like you said, I think we are a generation that lacks people who talk positively about it. And I think it's a problem with community. The way we used to have a community rally around you is no longer there.
Yes.
And the way we are looking for communities right now, we sort of have to pay for that
Yes.
community.
True.
You know, because aunties are scattered all over
Yeah.
the world. So for you to find a community, you're paying and you're not necessarily getting the right things, the right counsel. Yeah.
But you know, Terry, I believe you get your act at home together, then you come to work to thrive.
Yeah.
And that's where I normally start. Without getting your acts together at home, there is no way you come to the office and I tell you, you know, leave your home stuff at the door and come and work. And these are the conversations that we need to start having so that the girl child can thrive in their place of work.
Yes.
It's a fundamental thing
Yes.
that we need to address so that when you come to work, you give it your best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not happy at home, you will not perform here.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's go back to this journey 27 years later. 27 years later. When you reflect on it, what would you say it has been like? What have you learned about leadership? Yeah, 27 years later.
When I reflect on my growth journey 27 years later, the fundamental leadership principles that I've learned, one of it is people. People can take you to places. Second are systems that come through to support you. And finally, processes. Yeah, when you have those items together, and when I talk about people, it means the internal people, for me, my employees, and the external one, who are my customers. Yeah, I think those are the very key fundamentals that I have learned for these 27 years in my career in banking and having grown through the ranks and risen through the ranks. Yeah.
People, systems, and processes.
Yeah.
When we talk about people, there is Bonga na MDK. Please tell me about this initiative.
Yeah. When you talk about people, you have to be intentional first to find out what drives this human being, what are their needs, what are their aspirations, you know, and then thereafter go out to support them. That's why Bongana MD Kenya has been the epicenter of insightful conversation for us in KCB. And these conversations happen on a monthly basis, and the core of this conversation is to understand my staff as employees, and then thereafter pick the pain areas, the gaps, and support them to thrive. So it's not only about Bonga na MD. Bonga na MD is one among the 3 items that I do. This is a monthly conversation that, you know, we have a town hall for the Kenya staff. The second one is one week in a month, I go to the branches and I have a one-on-one interaction with the staff. And then I also have a one-on-one interaction with customers. So I do 4 dinners and 4 branch staff engagement. And this enables me now to really get into you as an individual. And key is also tell my story, because in the process, you actually inspire people. Another key to this is that leadership being accessible. You know, many a times, and through my experience when I entered into this branch, we believe that leaders are not human like you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are not. You know, they don't eat.
Surely.
They don't do the things that you do.
They might be angels.
Absolutely. So my intention was to demystify this leadership and, you know, tell your story so that in the process you're actually touching lives. So that's another one that once in a month, 4 days, I am out in the branch network. And when we are doing this, there are people also who aspire to be leaders in the next generation, and they ask, can I get to have a feel of how it looks like to be in the shoes of the MD? And when we get such a person, we actually invite them for the customer interaction, the dinners that we are having, to just get a feel and and experience what it takes
Yes.
to be, an executive. And then the third one is where the executive also go out to meet our staff and support them. Because remember, it's to understand and then pick out the gaps and then address those gaps by providing the support. It is being intentional when we talk about accessibility of leadership across the network.
Yeah.
So those sessions you normally look forward to because, you
Yes.
can be asked all manner of questions. And you need to be vulnerable as a leader and
Yes.
share your story because that's the only way you can connect with the staff. Another thing, with the customers also, going into their business places and getting to understand their businesses enable us to respond appropriately in terms of the financial solutions that we have and build trust. And in case of any query, they can actually reach out to us.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
When I speak to people at KCB, the one thing they say about you is that you listen, you understand, you don't forget. You remember birthdays, you remember people's children, and you want to follow up and ask about how they're doing in their progress. That's the feedback I've gotten. And I'm like, surely the weight of that responsibility must be immense.
Terry, it isn't that immense if you surround yourself with people who go out of their way to give their best because they understand you. One thing I'll say is that the support mechanism, starting all the way from the communication team, my business manager, my PA, they're awesome because you can't remember everyone's birthday, but when they diarize, they remind you and you do what you had said. But key to that is then for them to know that you value that, you mean it, and you're intentional, so that when they diarize, it makes their work easier. So surrounding yourself with people who know you in out. My team knows me in out, Terry. I only have one version of me.
Yes.
The person you're seeing today
That
is
helps.
me.
Yes.
And it really helps in terms of our engagement and interaction, even in terms of my expectation, what is it that I need, So that has made it very easy.
Yeah.
Second, is the technology that we do have. Yeah, those reminds you on very important days and dates in life so that, you are able to reach out to your staff. And then remember, I said people is what has made me to be who I am.
Yeah.
When you actually listen to these people, you get to know what is it that they love. You get to know what is it that they, the family expect of them. And when you come out on these events, this occasion, they give you their all. And when you study human-centered principle, get to understand the person as a whole so that you can be able to support them, first of all, to grow, understand their aspiration, and then hold them accountable. And in the process, you are creating a conducive working environment for all of them to thrive.
Yeah. I like that. It's very clear. It's coming out. People, systems, and processes. But before we get to talk about maybe processes, so it's 27 years later. You're now the managing director of KCB, the first one. Take me back to when you learned about this position and then, oh, wow, I am going to get that position. What was that like?
Let me tell you one thing. When I started my career, did I ever dream of being an MD? No. Yeah, that's the truth. I was just this village girl running away from poverty. And it was to me the basic necessities in life, in the Maslow theory of wants, it's to make sure that I do have food, shelter, and clothing, and that I can afford to fry my vegetable. I can afford to eat bread. And whenever I say this
bread,
bread, yeah. And you'll ask why bread?
Yes.
When we were growing up, we used to eat bread on Christmas. And this Christmas day, my father really supports the family. So we are 7 siblings, and the brothers and sisters are also here. And he buys 1 loaf of bread because that's what they can afford. And, 14 people sharing 1 loaf of bread. So what do? You become smart and book the crust. So this day I booked the crust, and my elder brother took it. And I was very annoyed.
Yes.
And I told my mom, you know what, Mom? I'll work hard in school until I'll be seeing bread like this. Yeah. And my mom cried. And now I understand. At that particular day, I couldn't understand because
Why she was
it's
crying, yes.
that she can't afford. Yeah. And that's what, when I'm talking about the basic needs, bread is one of it. Because that was the motivation for me to really work very hard. So it is this girl that wanted to meet the basic needs of life and excel. Because I had an elder brother ahead of me, so I needed to excel. And he made me to be very competitive in nature. So you get to do the work, excel in that work, then you ask, okay, I have mastered it. What does it take for me to move to the next level? Yeah, and you work so hard and you find yourself, oh, I'm a branch manager of a medium-sized branch. And then after that, it is, you go to the next one and, you excel and go to the light-sized branch. From the light-sized branch, you also excel. And so you become a regional business manager. And when I was growing in my career, some of the challenges that you could go through is like, it's not a guarantee that you get everything as you grow. You must trade over times. And why do I say this? When I was going to be the branch manager of Treasury Square, it was by that time same grade with what I was holding when I was in Kilindini. And so, because being the same grade, there's no salary increment, but they have to give you a small increment so that so that you can run with the leadership role. So you must take some risk and you must take new challenges. I'll say I went there because it was a licensed branch and I wanted additional responsibilities. And reaching there, the role of the regional business manager came up. And I had done treasury scan, then I said, why not? Let me go for it, But there are times that when the leader leaves, they have to give somebody an opportunity to act. So, you act. Once you've sat in that chair, it's like, but it is what I'm doing. I'm able to do it. So why don't I apply for it? And you apply for it and you give it your best, So that has been my career growth. It's at no time had I ever dreamt that I'll be the MD, But I just kept on aspiring. When I do my role, next one. So when it came the director retail, and I was in Mombasa, I honestly believe that, that's a role for the Nairobians. And because they're very competitive. Yes, and I believe that there are some attributes which are required because now you go to public speaking. And listening to my English, I went to the public school. So there are so many things that you start judging yourself and saying you don't have what it takes.
You disqualify yourself before anybody disqualifies you.
I disqualified myself. But I had a genuine friend who is my husband. And he asked me, do you apply for that role for director retail? And I told him, hiyo iko na wenyewe. And he took me back to the office and he actually assisted me to put through the application. He literally entered the data. Yes. And after that, we went home. And to cut the long story short, I got that role. And that's why as you grow in your career, you must surround yourself with people who trust and believe in you.
More than you believe in yourself.
Because that was my lowest moment that I disqualified myself for that role. And so when I became the director retail, here I am. I'm doing the work. I'm enjoying it. And I did it for 12 years. The industry doesn't know that I was there for 12 years. 12 years as the director retail. So when the role for the MD came up, I was actually away and I was appointed to act. And I came back and said, I started working normal and my PA by then tells me, Annastacia, branch managers are annoyed with you. Then I asked myself, why? But I'm trying to clear the interest so that by the time the client comes in at 8:30, there's no pending work, No, it's like, no, you haven't seen the communication. I said, what communication? You are the acting MD. I said, what? Me? No, can't be. So I walk into the group CEO's office and I say, Paul, what have you done to me?
Oh, what have you done to me?
And he asked me, have you forgotten that I am the appointing authority?
Oh, wow.
So now I went back and here I am. I have to work. And I started doing the work and said, But there's nothing different per se with the director retail because you're still taking care of the customers growing and what.
Yes.
So when they advertise, I applied.
Yeah, gladly. I've been doing it. I know the role.
I know it.
Yes.
But remember, Terry, it has to take somebody who believes in you to call you out. And this is very important. And this is what I do every other day. I call out the women who are not raising up their hands and tell them, you know what? You do have what it takes. And I can tell you there was one day that I called out a lady and I told her, you know what, you can be able to do this. She said, no, I'm tired. You're taking me around in circles. But I understood because it's like, they don't believe in themselves 100%. I need to be patient because I've gone through that. But look where she is now. She's actually a divisional director, Wow. Yes. So it's the key learnings that, at times we don't believe in ourselves. But as a lady, you must tick all the boxes 100% to raise up your hand.
Yes.
And the reality is you don't need to. You can actually be able to compete knowing 70% of that stuff and raise up your hand. So I'm telling you, in my journey, I never at one point knew that I will be the MD. It's just step-by-step growth, learning, relearning, skilling, reskilling myself that I was able to go to the next level and having a support mechanism that believes in you and call you out. Because my boss by then used to tell me, I want you to take over this role. And I kept on telling me, no, I'm not coming to take over that role.
Yeah.
You're still there. So when this opportune time came, and I was given the opportunity, here I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your story is so inspiring. But I'm glad that you talked about how sometimes as women, we think that we need to have 100% of the qualifications to even apply for a job, while men move very confidently. So you've referred yourself as a village girl so many times. And I'm just wondering, is there a point in your career where you felt almost invisible or underestimated?
There are many points that, yes, you feel as a woman underestimated. One is the unconscious biasness that we do have.
Yeah.
And it comes so natural. It's like I go to some places and it's like, I've come to see so-and-so. It's like, okay, wait there. So you give out your card and say, the MD KCB. And it's like, it's unconscious biasness that you're expecting that the MD of this institution has to be a gentleman. You get it. Second, discriminated against as a woman.
Oof.
It happens every other day, you
Yes.
know. Yeah, and you feel at one point that may God give us the humility to take it in and still smile and show that we have content and we have the right skills and competence for the roles that we are holding. And then third is like, and I believe this is more to do with the perception that as a woman, you're supposed to be doing family chores and not in leadership position. So those come out openly when you are in leadership, that you feel this discriminated. And then finally, and many a times we sell ourselves short, and this when it comes to salary. As women, we really don't negotiate for ourselves, and you expect that everybody will do the right thing and will tell you this is the rightful amount. And so you find after you go into a role and you compare and say, oh, heck, what went wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, because we trust a lot. We trust a lot, and you expect that it will be given to you.
Freely.
Yes, but as at now, as a leader, I actually stand up for the women in leadership, and I tell them, this is what you need to ask for. This is what your peers are earning, and I champion it myself because I've gone through it and I know what it means. Yes, so to do the right thing.
I like that you're speaking this passionately about it, especially as someone in leadership, because I think that's where it starts, being very transparent about how much this role, a person in this role is getting. Because I think for a very long time, organizations have just, they won't tell you exactly. Let's see how much you value yourself.
No, it's the role of the HR to
Yeah.
make sure that they bring you on board with the lowest pay as possible.
Yes.
So you only have yourself.
You only have yourself to blame. And then
Yes.
you get into the
Yeah.
role, you realize what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
You get resentful.
Yes.
And by month 3, you're applying for other jobs. And it doesn't do the organization any good because the turnover
Yes.
is very high. So I think that's a very strategic way to approach things, and also it empowers the women to know, you know what, I can actually ask for this.
True.
Yeah. I have been in that position where we used to do the same job with this guy, and he was paid double what I used to earn.
Yeah.
And I really sat down and I thought, was it because of my age? Was it? And you start justifying it. Is it because of experience? Maybe he has more experience than I do, but then you're still doing the same job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, now that we're talking about women, there's a proposition that you're very passionate about. I love talking about it because I think it's brilliant. And I want us to talk about flame and why flame is so close to your heart.
Wow. The best thing that I ever did is to bring women to the table through the flame value proposition. It is central to my heart because women have been left out, have undergone challenges over the years, and we've sold ourselves short also.
Yeah.
Truth be told. All right. So flame for me brought in a new awakening in terms of how do we intentionally include women and also capacity build them. So in the year 2022, we launched our flame value proposition. Many of the customers look at the tail end of the launch. But before that, we had 5 years of soul searching and addressing our unconscious biasness as employees. And reason is many a times that you will show up in the branch and you say you want to take a loan. Traditionally, you'll be asked, okay, is your husband aware and the like? And when my husband show up tomorrow, it's like, oh, Mrs. was here yesterday. But when I show up, they don't tell me Mr. was here yesterday. So that unconscious biasness. And another thing also, we didn't have data segregation. So we couldn't define that these are businesses being run by women or led by women. And then third, the kind of requirements that traditionally we had asked for as the banks, we are asking for securities. Where I come from, I'm the first asset of Mr. Kimtai. That's the reality.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't have title.
No.
So when you ask me for title to run my business, what are you actually telling me?
Yeah.
So we had to really look at what you're asking for. Third, also because a woman is taken as a businesswoman, and at home you are natural doing your responsibility as a wife, as a mother. We normally don't keep books of accounts.
No.
And those are the requirements that you're asking for.
Yes.
So then, how then do we come to support this woman? But a woman will tell you, I know this business is profit-making because I'm doing 1, 2, 3. But the bank doesn't
The bank
look
thinks
at
they
that. Looks
are
at the,
unbankable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we really had to do a lot of pilot, speaking to the minds and souls of our people so that they can transform, looking at our processes. Yes, to make sure that we are inclusive, and then using data to really speak about this woman, in business. And women take risk, calculated risk. But many a times there was this narrative that we women don't take risk, So we really needed to address that and even review our credit methodology, whereby cash flow now became the center conversation of ability to assess credit. So 5 good years until now, the gentlemen actually became sponsors of this value proposition. So when we got it right now, because we piloted with 10 branches for so long, and we also needed to transform the mindset of the people who are servicing ladies in business, then we roll out across the branch network. And let me tell you, when you come up with a solution that speaks to an existing need, the numbers just grow because so far we've been able to train over 17,000 women. We have over 900,000 women businesses having advanced over 140 billion in terms of loans. We have what we call unsecured loan up to 10 million. Yes, so that at least, you don't have the security.
Yeah.
And then the critical thing is that changing that took place internally in terms of our processes. Because by the time a woman is telling you, I needed a loan, they're crystal clear, they needed it like yesterday. And I'm talking to you because I am clear. Not that I am thinking about taking a loan. So it assisted us to improve on our TAT and get to appreciate, the kind of conversation we need to hold with our women.
Yes.
And then also capacity building. Truth be told, we still have our dark side trying to come up every now and then. How do we manage that? How do we train ourselves so that at least we can appreciate that we do have what it takes for us to be able to compete and to show up? So you really need to do a lot of training, a lot of mentorship for women. It's like, you're doing it. Go for it. That assurance is what we need. And another thing also, as nurturers, we take care of everybody. And any problem that's there at home is our problem. Yes. And so we came up with an insurance, medical insurance product for women. And this proposition is quite interesting because with saving 15 bob every day, you have a full year medical cover. Per annum, the premium is 4,500. So if you compute it per month, it's 350. Per day is 15 bob. Yes, and that takes care of 75% of your medical requirement. Takes care of your parents, because as ladies, we take care of
everybody.
Yes. So you can imagine with 4,500 and you have a medical cover, because I talked about looking at a person as a whole. Look at this woman in business as a whole and their concerns, and actually have a financial solution to speak to those concerns. And quite exciting is we talk. And you're in chamas, you're in groups.
We do. We speak.
We speak, yes. And so we also made sure that we reviewed our chama value proposition, that we give you 10 times your savings. To a maximum of 250 million, one group, so that you can invest. So we really looked at what are the aspirations of our ladies. What is it that we need to resolve so that at least they can be successful. So this women value proposition is what I'm very passionate about it. And it's going to change the entire community and society, because every single coin that a woman makes belongs to the community.
It does.
They are actually number 50 in the list of priority. So this is quite impactful. We've scaled it up. And one of the things that we are intentional whenever we do the visits, the client visit, is to speak about it, because most of our customers don't know about it.
It's true. It's true.
Yes. And then another thing also that we did was our procurement. We put aside a third for women, youth, and people with disability. And we've hit 1 billion in terms of ensuring that women become our suppliers. So you have to be intentional on some of these things. When we started, everybody used to know that under A or B, Annastacia will ask, so what's the percentage of our procurement allocation? You have to speak about it for a while before people internalize and start doing it, because it's the right thing. So that's what you've done under the Flame value proposition.
I love talking about Flame. And one of the things that you've talked about is capacity building. And you've hosted exclusive financial empowerment sessions in places like Eldama Ravine. And, for many women in the rural or what we call underserved areas, and, a visit from the MD, that's a big deal. And I just want to know, what are the things that you learn when you go to the grassroots that you will never learn in the boardroom?
And let me pick it up, Terry, from Eldama Ravine. Because I was shocked with Eldama Ravine audience. First day, we had women very excited and ready to go. The next day, we had the other gender. And in the next day, because it is MSMEs and corporates, majority of the people, 90%, are the guys. And before we even started the conversation, they asked me, what are you doing with our women? You can't do this. And I told them, okay, let's talk. What is the issue? You are breaking our families. And I told them, thank you so much. Let's talk. I'm married, happily married.
Yes.
That's what I know. I'm a mother. I'm an executive, and there is no day my title has made me not to do the work I'm supposed to do.
As a wife,
and I
yes.
even gave them an example when my father-in-law passed on. You know, the family I married to didn't know my senior role.
Oh, wow.
When they saw the number of vehicles from KCB, they asked,
What do you do?
what does this woman do in the bank? Yes. And I actually told them, if somebody was humble, they will continue being humble even when they thrive in their business. But if this woman was going to leave, even in her poverty, she is going to leave. So let's talk about your concern and then the assurance that you need. Because the reason why I champion Flame with a passion is because I know women who genuinely have found love in their marriage will actually uplift that family and will make that family to thrive and will make their husbands very proud and give them the confidence. Because there's this theory that you need to read. When a man doesn't have money in their pockets, they can't even be men.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So with this value proposition, if I genuinely love this marriage, we will work together and my success will be our success. And you'll become a very proud husband. So when we went to that level and they actually started taking the books and I said, okay, then you're doing the right thing. Can you come again next year?
Yes.
Why is this very powerful for me? It's powerful because you have to speak to the fears that we have outside there. The negative narrative that has been driven around a successful woman, that they are not homemakers. Yes, and give that assurance and tell your story, because I normally say, I tell my story so that they believe. And I tell them, you can scroll my phone, the first person I call is my husband, my children, I'm fine. The last person I call, and if I'll go for these meetings up to midnight, I'll send a text message. It has even made me to be closer to my family. And empowering women has no correlation with actually destroying families. In fact, it has every reason to building and bringing up a solid family and solid children for the future. So when you spoke about Elder Maravin, I will never forget about it because of that. And every person needs an assurance that this is going to work for all of us, for the benefit of all of us, for them to join in. So for me, that going to the ground was an eye-opener, because where I am, somebody come and told me in the office, no, but we will not be allowed to do this, and yet I've addressed the issue of unsecured loan, credit methodology, everything else. How? Why? So at times it pays when you go to the ground to really understand some of the challenges that you can never get when you're in the office. And then also to preserve and keep confidential information confidential. Because also there are some areas that, they are material information that you come across that if you disclose can bring challenges. So that ability to get to know and say, these are the rails, stay within these rails, and you get them out when you are at the field. And then you are able to read the body language of the customers. And I normally say, go to the untold story. The moment you're able to speak to the untold story, then you'll be able to make progress. And that's what really gets me excited and going to the ground and being with these ladies, just hearing their stories. And as I hear their stories, then how do I solution to catalyze their businesses? That is the aspiration, And then also understand my staff. There could be some challenges that they are going through, but they've been shy to bring them out. So when I go to the ground and the woman tells me, by the way, there is this challenge, then I speak to my staff, what's happening? Then they tell me, the problem is here. I'm able to come back and unlock for them. So for me, when you are in touch with the ground, then you come with the right products and solutions that speak to the real financial needs of your clients. Second, that they are able to see. There are some regions and the areas that I have gone to, and they say, we've never seen a managing director of a bank. And that place has more than 5 banks. Then you get to appreciate that, it's very important to build trust with your customers and appreciate them and tell them we are because of you. And we just come to say thank you because of being our customers. And you get to see the excitement, the trust, the ability for our customers to come out and ask some of the questions that there's never been a platform for them to ask.
Yes.
And that for me means everything to us as a corporate institution. And that's why as KCB, we said, okay, how can we amplify this interaction and make sure even our executive also go out and engage the customers so that whenever we are solutioning to the specific financial requirement of our customers.
Yeah. And from a place of knowledge, it's interesting that you use the word unlock because Mandy was here. And the one thing Mandy said was, Annastacia will always unlock for you. If there's anything, like go to her, she will unlock. And she said the question you always ask is, how can we make it bigger? How can we make it better and bolder? And I can definitely hear that in your voice. Now we've talked about going and meeting the people on ground. Obviously, you have been in this institution for over 27 years. Things have changed from brick and mortar to now everything is digital. Do you ever fear that at some point we will lose that human interaction?
A good question. I'm so passionate about driving inclusivity through innovation.
Yes.
Yes, and we human being the social guys and ladies we are. I'm not worried about that because, first of all, people need quick, accessible financial solutions immediately to make them move. You see, so if we are able to offer that and offer answers, and that's under our non-financial aspect of solutioning, then we will never miss an opportunity to just come and celebrate ourselves and laugh. And there's always that time that you need to re-energize. And for KCB, introducing the non-financial solutions, whereby some people just say, we need to meet. We are human beings. We need to go together for an holiday. You see, we need to have a one-on-one interaction. Because we've already factored that in the non-financial solution, I am not worried. My biggest joy is that I've enabled my customers to be able to get the right answers at the right time so that they can take advantage of the opportunities they come across. We will, and we are intentional. That's why we go out. We are intentional to still have the social forums, to still have engagement. And let me tell you, as Africans, we eat together, we celebrate together.
That's true.
How will you eat a meal digital?
You cannot.
So we still have to have these forums where we just come
true.
and say, you need to join us for one of the flame sessions where we just go out and dance and be the girl that we are.
Yes.
And then after that, now come and talk about the financial issues.
Yes.
And thereafter, just, stay together and, have a meal, that we will still have because of our nature. We are oriented that way.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to make an effort to attend one of the Flame meetups. But still on this issue of digital transformation, obviously KCB right now has 71% as the youth, which is an amazing number. But with the young people, we have very different ways of working. And one of the ways that people want to work, they want to work from home, right? And, initially it would be you go to work 8, you clock out at 5, you go home and deal with your family. But now working from home means that sometimes your dining area becomes your office. And I'm just curious, what are your feelings about the idea of working from home? How do you think that affects the family life balance, work-life balance?
And it's quite exciting that you're asking that question because I'm a champion of working from home, having a hybrid. And the reason is, if you look at the productivity of a lady when you work from home, it's quite high. And we've done it because we've piloted at one of our units, the Customer Excellence unit. And actually the productivity of a lady when she's working from home
Yeah.
is quite high.
Yes.
It was quite interesting also to see that the productivity of guys when they're working from home is low.
Yeah.
And we have to study that and find out what's the reason. And we are all different. There are people who love to work from home. And it makes them more productive because they are able to do so much. And the reason why we are piloting this solution is so that, first of all, that we can be able to support you. Yeah, there are people who like to work from home, but they don't have the infrastructure. Remember, I talked about people, system, and processes.
Yes.
So how then do we put in place systems and processes to support them to work from home and thrive? Remember our goal. We are here for people for better. We want our people to thrive, to be the best that they can be. So you need, as you pilot, people to volunteer and then make sure that you have the systems and the processes to ensure that productivity is not eroded. All right? And then also, second, to give people a choice. The ones who would like to work from office, so be it.
Yes.
Give them that choice to be able to work from office. But key challenge for us in leadership is how do we ensure that as you work from home, you have the required tools and resources and the required support, and then your productivity doesn't go down. So we've concluded with one of the units. We are starting on another unit, and actually this is per request. So when you come and say, how about considering this, then we respond because you go out, get to know what inspires your team and support them to thrive. So for me, I'm an advocate of working from home for those people who want to work from home. And if that's that's going to make them thrive and unlock their potential, we will support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's very interesting. I was expecting something completely different. I want us to change the gears a bit and talk about legacy. So I will give you so initially when I thought about legacy, I used to think, it's that thing that people remember when you're gone. And to me, it really I didn't care about how people remember me when I'm gone because I'll be gone anyway until I had my son. And that was last year. And now I've been thinking about this legacy so seriously because I'm so keen on knowing the kind of world I leave him. And now it has started making sense. Initially, I was just, no, legacy is just a thing that people want to, but now I'm very keen about legacy. And so I have two questions for you. One, would you say Flame is your legacy?
I'll say the impact and the transformation that you have created will be our legacy. And why do I say it's the impact? Because it's not only about the women in business, but also what we do out of work. And why is this very important for me? As of now, I'm supporting a school of 388 girls that before I came in, I'll say that everybody had lost hope on this school because the average grade in fourth form was a 3.1. So nobody used to go to university.
Yeah.
Over 70% of the ladies conceived before they finished school. There was no discipline. There was nothing. And I remember when my husband, we were having this conversation and he asked me, can you support these girls? And I said, you know what? I like doing my things in a quiet way. Yeah, so I ask, I don't like being broadcasted because I'm not a politician. So I really had to go down and do some soul search. And I said, okay, let's work with these children first and find out what their issues are. And so when I had the first conversation in this school, and I kept on telling them, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you have what it takes, no matter your background. Yeah, even if you're a grandmother's child, that will not define your future. And these girls told me, Madam, but we have no mirrors. I'll say it was the lowest moment in my life that, you take for granted so many things. A mirror, I believe you've looked at yourself more than 3 times.
Today?
Today,
Yes.
before you came here.
Yeah.
But these are girls telling you, but you have no mirrors. That moved me. And I had to put mirrors in the 4 dormitories so that they can start that assurance that, yes, you are able to transform yourself. And guess what? By the time I was having the next talk, the girls were very smart. Small things in life. Yes, small things. And I like to quote from Mother Teresa. She says, not all of us can make big things to happen. But if we do the small things with love, then we can transform the world. That's what I'm talking about, impact. And within 1 year, this school grades improved from 3.1 to 5.8.
Wow.
That's why I talk about impact. We had 15 girls going to the university. And I look at ourselves and I say, if we can be able to do the small things with great love, then that's the kind of legacy that we need to leave. That somebody can say, I am because somebody else was concerned about me. And that's what I'm saying. I want to take it from the girl child. Can we people who've been advantaged to have a job, to be in leadership, go back and give it back to the community? If all of us does these small things, then we will start seeing a transformative world. And then now, second is now come to the employment, and you ask about Flame. Yeah, for me, it's a transformative initiative because you're able to bring people who've been left behind economically to the table and play their role to catalyze the economic development of this country. And thereafter, go home as proud mothers and nurture and take care of the children. Hence, in the process, we will be transforming
Generations.
Generation to come, community. And then also, we will be able to go back to the values that glued us as Africans together. So when I look at it, I'm looking at it at a 360 degrees view, you know.
Yes.
What values do you ascribe to? And then if you ascribe to these values, what are some of the economic empowerment that can make you champion these values and transform the next generation to a person who is confident, know that they have what it takes for them to excel and live a purposeful life. That's the kind of thing. So it doesn't matter where you are, all of us can be able to create an impact in our country.
So very small little things.
Little things.
Done with big love.
That's it.
You've talked about values, and everybody who has come here has told me about your faith. That you're a staunch Roman Catholic, and I want to talk about that and how instrumental your faith has been in your journey, and also the fact that you got a little recognition from a pope. Let's talk about that, please.
Now you have all the background information about me. Oh, goodness. As a young girl, our father took us to boarding school. So I went to a boarding school when I was in class 3, a Catholic boarding school. And you'll ask, why did Dad do that? Dad did that because he believed that education will take us to places. And for us to thrive in education, he looked for schools that were doing well. And that's when we went to boarding schools. Yes, my parents are Catholics, you know. So that solidified our faith in terms of how they do things, the behavior. Quite interesting when I tell people even how to walk. You know, I'm tall. We were taught how to walk straight with our heads.
Oh, wow.
Yes. How to speak. Yes. How to carry yourself around as a Catholic girl was quite instrumental. And then the ability to shine. That was ingrained in us. So when it comes to our values, and I know the team will tell you, Annastacia is a stickler of time.
Yes.
Yes, Annastacia believes in leaders doing the right thing and being held accountable. I believe in integrity. I believe in being forthright.
Yes.
And I believe in hard work, because these are the values that we learned when we were growing up and being a Catholic. Yeah, I've been going through also a Catholic school. And another thing is meaning well for everyone. That when you meet somebody, know that that's God creation, and they mean well. So some of these values, which were ingrained in us from a very young age, is what has kept us up to now. And that's why we talk about the ethical things. And you'll be told that yesterday our focus on Bongana MD, or the ethical values in the bank, you know. And this is quite instrumental, because when you get to understand the rails, then we'll be able to support each other, and then you'll be able to give it your best without nobody micromanaging you. And one of another critical value that we learn is the ability to do soul searching with yourself, just being real to yourself. And that's why for me, every Sunday afternoon, it's my me time, quiet time with myself. And as you reflect on this, it's what have you done? Are there areas that they were misstep? And what are you going to do different?
Yes.
And then after that, you know, you say, you examine yourself. What are you going to do for the next 1 week?
Yeah.
So that no matter how busy it gets,
Yes.
these are the commitments that you've already made. And this is very important because of your planning and ability to execute based on your plans. So when I reflect and look back, I owe it to family and the church, that I was molded to be the girl I am. And during my young years, I was the youth leader for 7 years. I was in Catholic Women Association. I am still is a member of Catholic Women Association for 10 years. And I was the parish treasurer for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Starting a church of 5 faithful, growing it up to a parish. Custom St. Francis.
Yes.
Yes, and believing that it can become a parish and giving it your all. I used to say there was no separation between the church and my place, because the matchbox that's used to lead the candle, that candle has come from my house.
Oh, wow.
My children were the altar servers.
Yes.
Yes, so it's like everything we did
Integrated.
around integrated. And in the Catholic faith, you can only hold some position twice. You don't go. But mine, the priest used to seek for exceptional approval from the bishop, because we had an agenda. So because of that, I was actually given the highest commendation by Pope Benedict. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's very clear that you live a very intentional life. From everything that you do, work, family, your faith. And, you know, I'm just wondering what's next for you? What's next?
What's next for me is to serve humanity. And I pick it from, if you ask me, who is my role model? Who do I look up to every day? And the cause that I live with every other day. I look at Mother Teresa, and she inspires me a lot. And I ask myself, God, you brought me this far and blessed me among the many. I believe I'm not done impacting humanity with humility.
Yes.
So if you ask me, that's my next calling when I'm not doing banking.
Yes.
I really want to support the girl child, the women, to thrive, and do it in such a way that we preserve our values as Christian and as Africans, because they're some of the best values that we do have as Africans in terms of taking care of a community. Because when you go back to the rural homestead, you'll find that not everybody has been blessed, but using the blessings that God has given us, we can be able to do work that can transform these homesteads economically. So that's what I intend to do when I am not doing banking.
Banking.
Yes.
You know, everything about this interview has just, I don't know, something in me has. You lead with such intention and such heart, and the fact that you deeply care is so evident. And I'm just so honored to sit beside you and just listen to the story, because it makes it feel possible. It makes it feel possible. Sometimes we look at women who are in these positions and we think, well, but that's not me. There is no way that could be me, you know? So you've made it feel possible.
It is.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Thank you so much.
Do the small things with great love.
Do the small
and
things
you won't believe
with
this
great
will
love.
take you to places.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful place to end it. But before you go, now with every episode, we like being honest, which we have been, very unscripted and a little vulnerable. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you're going to just speak from the heart, right? So, who is a woman who has held space for you when you most needed it?
I'll say there are several women, and I'll start with a lady called Anifa, who was my operation manager
Yes.
when I was a young girl. You know, yes, she challenged me to be the person I am right now. And then fast forward, my regional business manager, you know, by then. So I look at the leaders who are in that space and the challenge. And then my branch manager, Beatrice Ngari, who actually challenged me because as an economist, it's either black or white.
Yes.
And told
No
me,
gray area.
No gray area. And told me, if your aspiration is to grow,
Yes.
then you must go back to school and study. And that's how I did an MBA where I did strategic leadership. You get it? So, and I'll say it's the women who are ahead of me, because I learned to be open and share what my aspirations are. And then I used to have a divisional director, Catherine Njoroge, who, when she came to course, pick out me, and it's like, wow. So you see, these are people that we've worked with, but there's also a lady called Milka, the ones who've been in leadership. But the core and the cornerstone of all this is my mother. My mother, who kept on pushing me and telling me, Anastacia, for you to be respected in this world, you must have a job. You must have your own money, girl.
Yes.
For you to live the life that you are, despite the fact that she never went to school. She took care of us when Dad was out of the country. So I look at her and I just, I celebrate her. And then Mother Mary in the Bible. Because what we go through as women in leadership is precisely what she went through.
Yeah.
Many a times, standing for the right thing, even when you don't understand. Yeah, and still being there. And as I also speak about the youth, my children who are youth,
Yes.
the patience and the humility that you need to have to be able to support them.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, so you ask me, I get women everywhere
Yes.
that I've interacted with who actually support me. And the quotes I read every day from Mother Teresa is to still be grounded in humility as God continues blessing you, and to still do the right thing. And know that you are not special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but God has just used you to bless other people. For me, women, I read a lot of books and everything that I'm able to pick has inspired me. But I reflect and I say, as mothers, we have a bigger call to really mold and inspire and allow our children to be, and have the humility of Mother Mary. Yeah, to be in prayer so that we can bring out the best in them. Thank you.
Yeah. What's a mistake that taught you something unforgettable?
Well, a mistake that taught me something unforgettable. I've done so many mistakes. I can't say that I haven't come this far,
Without making mistakes.
I haven't made mistakes. So I think the mistake that I almost made that I'll never forget was when my area director called me on a Saturday, when it was a non-working Saturday, and requested me to go and represent him in a school as a guest speaker. And you know, the first thing is like, why me? A Saturday, you know, you're supposed to laze around.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, when he was calling, because I told you, my very good friend made sure that we had a landline.
Yes.
I was actually, you know, you could hear from my conversation me giving excuses. And he told me, no, go for it.
Yeah.
Do it. And I'm telling, but I even don't have the speech. And, you know, I hadn't. So it's like, boss, I'm still thinking. And, you know, it's like, no. And then when he told me do it, I said, I'm doing it. Yes, I'm doing it, but I don't know the how.
Yes.
I'll do it, sir. So immediately we woke up, wrote for me a speech, and we went for this event at Shimolatewa. Those days, there were so many strikes and banning of learning institutions by the boy child. I went, did it, you know, with a heavy heart. That was the mistake, because I went with a heavy
With
heart.
a heavy heart.
With a heavy heart.
Yeah.
And really asking myself, why me? You know, and that's what you normally ask. Why me?
Why
You know,
me?
yes, why me?
Yes.
And when I went and did it, and we had this conversation, and I gave my story to the boys. And that year, they didn't ban the school. The following year, they didn't ban the school. And they started performing well. You know, I looked back and I said, that could have been a big mistake. But looking at myself, what it did to me, the speech that I read in my story was played in Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Those days, we didn't have all these media outlets. You know, on Saturday, on Sunday, Monday morning. And with this, the area director Kelly called me on Monday and told me, wow, I didn't know you are quite eloquent. From today, you are going to be our change champion for Coast Region.
Wow.
And trust me,
Yes.
when I look back and reflect, it is for that day that I am where I am right now. Because I was involved in all the change initiatives of the bank, and that gave me the limelight to grow. You see, so when I look back
Yes.
and reflect as a woman, that was a mistake that was going to be very costly in my life. But I'm still making a correlation to the people who believe in you.
Yes.
And they push you when you don't believe in yourself.
Yes.
That's, when I look back, is that support system that has believed in me and pushed me, that has made me that the mistakes that I was about to make, which were going to be very costly,
Yes.
did not happen.
Yeah.
And it's typical of all of us. Even look at the role of director retail. That could have been the most catastrophic mistake
Yes.
that I would have made.
Yeah.
But look at the support mechanism, you know.
Yes.
So I believe in having people believe in you around yourself, so that at that point that you are about to make that mistake, they bring sense to you. They
Yes.
pump sense into your head and say, no, you're able to do it. Go for it. You see, and it's typical with all of us. Who is that angel that
In
comes
your life.
through for you
Yes.
at your lowest moment, when your mind drifts to the negative and you're not seeing the positive that can bring you back into positivity?
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, so much could have happened. Things could have turned out very differently.
Thank you.
But learning to give yourself permission to take up space is what I'm hearing. One last question. Is there a part of yourself that you're still learning to embrace?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
A part of myself that I'm still learning to embrace, one of it is my height. And I know you'll ask why we focus on that one. And many a times when I was in school, feedback I got is like I'm quite intimidating because of my height. And more specifically with the boys. And you know, when you're a young girl, what do you want? You want to be loved
want
and
to be
everything.
loved.
Yeah, so that's a part of me that I'm still learning to embrace and love myself as is, because as much as a few people can see it as a strength, for me, it's something that made me at times ask, why?
Why?
Why? Because it's like, up to now, it's like,
Yes.
it's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
People ask you, are you taller than your husband? And the fact is, yes, I am. So I'm really trying to embrace that, despite the fact that it's beyond me, and accept it. as is.
Yes. And I know it's a part of you that you're learning to embrace, but I think what I could get from it is that the fact that when you walk into a room, there's a presence that you cannot deny. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because you will not get overlooked. It's, I am here. You
but
walk in and there's...
times it's like, no, people, it's like you're imposing. You're looking at the positive. Look at the others. You feel like, and then my voice is loud. That's another part of me that I'm learning to embrace, that at times I even have to
bring it down a bit.
Bring it down a bit because, we were taught to speak up. And, because of the behavior and, they were nurtured in this boarding Catholic school. But you realize because of diverse cultural background, to some people, it doesn't mean
power.
Yes, and being a woman, it's looked at it that many a times I have to moderate my voice as I speak, as I walk in. Yes, I really need to be humble enough so that I'm not perceived to be overbearing. You get it? That's it.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, people will perceive you either way. No, I've had such a fantastic time. Thank you for coming and being so open with us and so honest. I think everybody who has come, I've seen what they mean. They kept telling me, you must sit with her, you must sit with her. And this has been such a beautiful experience. Thank you.
Thank you too for making it seamless and having me.
Yeah.
And the best thing is the ability to speak from the heart. And tell your story, because in the process you actually touch so many people.
Yes.
You inspire so many people. And you create leaders.
That's
my aspiration. I really want to create more women to be leaders and tell them, you know what, you can do it. You can do it. And then also values that, we've earned our position. We've not been given.
Yes.
And it's hard work.
Yes.
Dedication and commitment to excellence. Thank you.
Thank you so much.